up, guys? Welcome to the next installment of the Lean Bulk. I hope you had a good week. It is now the weekend, the time that everyone longs for. You guys just saw a shoulder workout. I kind of did an edit. I hope you guys enjoyed that with Ethan. Ethan is the VP of Marketing and Branding Content for LMNutrix, the supplement company that I've been working with. The kid is jacked, and he's a football player, has a history of strength training, and he really knows his stuff. He took me through that shoulder workout, so those are all movements that he uses, and obviously the work pays off. I'm gonna go through, kind of just talk briefly about the shoulder workout. Since I didn't edit, I didn't really talk over it. So let's go. There are 8 exercises total, believe it or not, that we breezed through. I think that took us about an hour. We did some abs after that I'll show you guys in another video. But dumbbell shoulder press was the first exercise we started with right here. What we did is we did 5 sets going from a lighter weight up to a heavier weight. The 4th set was the heaviest we could do. And then to the 5th set, the last set of dumbbell shoulder press, we dropped the weight back down to the lightest weight we did on the first set, and we just repped it out at like 15 reps. I think I went 60 pounds for the first set. I think second set was maybe 70. Third set was maybe 80, 85, and then 4th set was 90-pound dumbbells, and then I dropped it back down to the 60. And Ethan did about the same. Then we moved on to these right here. We did 3, it was kind of 3 exercises in one, believe it or not. It was front raise. We did front raises, I think 10 to 12 of those, and then that was a drop set. So we started with like the 40-pound dumbbells and then dropped it down to the 20s, I believe. And then, like I said, it's a 3-in-1 exercise. So the front raises, and then we did lateral raises for the medial delt, the middle, which gives you that kind of rounding of your shoulder. Front raises obviously for the front delt. Then we also did the same thing, 40-pound dumbbells to the side, drop it down to the 20s, drop set. And then the third exercise of that one little circuit was, I believe it was hammer front raises, kind of like raising the dumbbells this way, and that also kind of hits the front delt. So, and that was a drop set too, so that was a ton of volume for our kind of, I guess it was the second exercise kind of, but like I've been saying, it was a 3-in-1. So we did, I don't even know how many reps we did, but I'll just say by the end of that, we were pretty freaking pumped up and ready to move on to the next exercise. Now the next exercise you saw was rear delt flies on the pec deck, supersetted with a standing dumbbell press. And with the standing dumbbell press, Ethan and I were talking about this. It's a very humbling movement because we're only using the 40-pound dumbbell, but if you're standing and using your core for stabilization and just pressing like this, and not, you know, like putting your hip on your side, which I was doing, but Ethan told me to stop doing that because I was trying to fight the momentum. But it is very difficult. I highly recommend a standing dumbbell press just for overall core strength, your leg strength, and just to stabilize yourself. It was difficult. So that was a superset with the flies and then the dumbbell press. And then, that's right, cable crossovers was the next thing we did. That's for rear delt, kind of your back. You can do cable crossovers on back day too. But again, we did them on shoulder day. No, nothing wrong with that. And that's just, you know, having one cable in one hand, one cable in the other, crossing over, trying not to bend at the elbows too much, and just keeping the range of motion right here. You will feel your back firing for those. Those are kind of difficult to do at my gym that I go to personally because it's so busy that getting 2 cables, you don't want to be that guy at my gym who's like stealing 2 cables at once because everyone's always trying to do tricep pushdowns and stuff like that. But this workout we did that you guys just watched that edit of, that was at 8 in the morning, smaller gym, not many people, so perfect time to do it. And then let's move on to the last exercise we did, easy bar standing presses. The one you saw going like this where my eye almost popped out. Yeah, that was the finisher. And again, that's for front delt. You might even have a little bit of medial delt in there, I'm not sure. But that's just an all around, you know, it might even hit some of your upper chest, I'm not even sure. But that rounded out our shoulder exercise. Again, and you guys saw, I want to emphasize this, you guys saw in that workout, you saw the weight we were using, and I don't want you to think if you're a beginner, it's like, holy crap, I need to do that type of weight. You don't need to. Ethan and I have both been lifting for years. We have size. I'm like 200 pounds now. Ethan, I think he's like high 170s, maybe 180, not sure. And we've been doing it for a while. What you need to focus on in your shoulder exercises and every other exercise is keeping the pace high. So you get that heart rate up, so you're getting a little cardiovascular endurance involved, and just effort. Keep the rest times in between your sets down and focus on the rep range. Stay in the rep range. That is so important. We were doing, 8 to 12 rep range. Sometimes we're doing 12 to 15 rep range. And if I couldn't get 12 on a given exercise, let's say cable crossovers, I couldn't get 12 reps, drop the weight down. It's not ego lifting, it's just, whatever is difficult for you, that is the weight that you need to do it at. So if you're a beginner, if you have to shoulder press with the 20-pound dumbbells, that is fine. As long as it's difficult, it has to be difficult. So just keep that in mind. Maybe if you go back and rewatch it or not, we kept the pace high, kind of sweating our ass off, and that is how the pace should go for your shoulder workouts. Maybe if you guys notice, my dog is sitting in the back blending in with the couch. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that, and yeah. Nope. Hey, come here. Yep. Hey, you sit. You sit down. Be good. You ready? Go get it. This is Rascal. She knows about them post-workout carbs. Did you get a good pump? Do this for the YouTube. Yes, it is. It looks awesome. Omelets all day. If you guys are wondering what I'm wearing, this pullover probably looks like Nike. It's not. It's actually Alphalete. It is Christian Guzman, the YouTuber, his fitness line. I was kind of skeptical about, a kid from Texas, creating a clothing line and selling it, through social media and whatnot. But believe it or not, the quality of this is unreal. It fits phenomenally well. I'm wearing a large right now, and it is Nike quality. Like it is top of the line. It has cool accents on it. It says Alphalete here subtly, and it's just great active wear. You can honestly wear this not even outside of the gym too. So if anyone has been wondering, or follows Christian Guzman, has been wondering, I wonder if his clothing label is actually legit. It is. It's awesome. I think that's gonna wrap up the video, guys. The rest of my day is gonna be low-key. I'm gonna be studying a little bit, so not much to film there. I really appreciate it if you made it to the end of the video. You're the best. And if you don't mind, throw me a like or a comment or whatever. Would love to hear from you, and support is always greatly appreciated. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.